Good. Greetings, fellow Watford fans. Omar here, and it's time for another Orns Saturday focus, this time on Southampton versus Watford at St. Mary's on Sunday. And Watford will have to hope that Sunday proves to be a successful outing. 3 points is what must come back to Vicarage Road, as Sundays have not been good for Watford. They've played twice on a Sunday this season in the Premier League, only to lose both times. Both of those games were against Arsenal, and Watford now are seeking to break that trend against the Southampton side, who have dropped their last two games, including the game against Newcastle a few days ago. Now, Southampton have lost just two games at home this season in the Premier League, once to Wolves, the other, as I said, to Newcastle. And what Watford are going to have to do is come out with some character and belief in this game, soak up the pressure from Southampton, and make sure that the first goal that gets scored in this game is by Watford, and preferably at the right end of the pitch. Watford will have to score first in this game if they are to win it. It is that simple. Watford's statistics when they are going a goal down is very poor indeed. They've only won once this season when that's happened. That was at Goodison Park when they trailed twice against Everton, 1-0 and 2-1. But this is no Everton side. This is a far better side and a stronger test for Watford, the Southampton side, who've been in rich form this season after an early start of a struggle. Southampton have dominated Watford of late, winning a number of games recently, especially when they play at Vicarage Road. Watford have not beaten Southampton in the Premier League at the Vic, but they have beaten Southampton away from home, and they are hoping that they can do so again in order to get themselves away from the dreaded area that they do not want to go to, and that's the relegation area. A win would do them the world of good on Sunday with Watford, because it would bring them ever closer to the safety area of the Premier League. But with the way they played against Wolves, they are going to have to do a whole lot better against Southampton, a Southampton side who are looking at Watford as easy prey, just the way that Wolves did just a few days ago. Watford are going to have to shake the game against Wolves out of their system and play like their lives depended on it. Their very lives depended on it against Southampton. The winning has to start now for Watford. It's obvious. And the lineup they're most likely to have, particularly in that front three, are going to be Dennis, João Pedro, assuming he's back from COVID protocols. I expect he will be. And Hernandez, again, I think will be given the green light as well. I think, though, Carlu will have to figure into this game and get him on the ball. If you start Carlu somewhere, maybe left or right, if Hernandez sits, I don't know. But you'll have to start Carlu if you can, because I think that Carlu needs to be given a lot more time on the ball. He was given a half against Wolves, which he really didn't get any touch of the ball at all in that second half. He was given 3 minutes, all the 3 minutes against Arsenal the prior game. He's going to have to play a full Premier League game. I think he'll have to start, but I expect that Roy Hodgson is going to start Dennis, King, and Hernandez, because I think, we'll see about King. King is apparently injured at the minute with a neck issue, but I expect that the Roy will end up, if King is healthy, he will end up starting Josh King over João Pedro, which I think is a monumental mistake. João Pedro still needs to be and must be getting his starts, but what you will expect, what I would hope for, is João Pedro and Kalu and also Dennis. Those are the three. But Dennis has got to stop being selfish. He has got to be a team player here. But when he is on goal, when he bears an on goal, take the shot, stop the dribbling, take the shot, and go at goal. Make sure that you keep this Southampton defense busy. Keep that goalkeeper busy, likely to be Fraser Forster in the nets for Southampton. But Watford are going to have to make an all-out assault on that Southampton goal in this game. One thing that Southampton will do is absorb pressure and hit on the counter-attack. That is what Southampton do very well, and they've got the players to do it. They've got Carl Walker-Peters, a danger man. I would watch out for him. I think he's going to be a very key player in this game for Southampton. James Ward-Prowse, of course, a free kick specialist. He is the set-piece man, and I would absolutely implore Watford to defend these set pieces, because Southampton can unlock you with those. Also, watch out for Shea Adams. He's expected to be on the in the 4-4-2. I expect Southampton to deploy Che Adams on one side, and I think Brozier on the other side, or Alan Armstrong if Brozier is not starting. Look also for Livramento on the right-hand side for Southampton. He is very, very tricky indeed. And I think that Carl Walker-Peters is going to give Jeremy Ngakia a lot of problems. So Ngakia is going to have to stand his ground, reduce his mistakes, because Kiko Femenia, I doubt, will be playing in this game. He has a groin problem, it is reported by Watford. As for Watford's mentality here, character, character, character. Those are the things that Watford must put on the line here. Show us the character. Show us that you care. Show us that you believe in yourselves. Show us that you care about staying in the Premier League. Show us that you are up for the fight. You have to put a tackle in on Southampton. I look for Watford to get physical with Southampton, to frustrate Southampton, and to also pass the ball much more quickly. They did that for a bit against Wolves, but then it broke down. The passing in this game is everything. Watford are going to have to try for goal a lot more than they did. They had no shots on target against Wolves, so I expect that to change against Southampton. Surely Watford can't play any worse than they did against Wolves. In fact, they didn't even play at all against Wolves. They just didn't turn up. And everyone's going to have their shooting boots on. And if Josh King does start, he is going to have to score here. I am looking for an early Watford goal in this game, because that is what Watford must do to beat Southampton if they have any chance at all of beating Southampton, who are going to be difficult to break down at times. And they are going to be very, very dangerous on the counter attack. I expect that Watford will sit a little further up the pitch. They must close down the space against Southampton. They didn't do that when Southampton visited the Vic earlier this season, and they should have had more than the 1-0 win that they had with Southampton, because they had all kinds of space and time. What Watford must do is close down spaces, stop that ball from being crossed in by Carl Walker-Peters, limit his forays, and if he gets to the byline, close him down there. Close him down there. What you also have to do is give help to the defender, be a help defender on the flanks, because Southampton love to travel down those flanks, and they are going to test Ngakia down there if he starts. They're going to test Camara as well. I think Camara needs a little bit of help, because I think he's been overwhelmed in the last couple of games by the opposition, who I think have figured out what he tries to do. But don't let that part of the game stop you from going forward, Camara. I know that you can do it, and all the team must be team players here in this game. Show the fans that you care. And if you can come out of this game with 3 points, it sets us up for a good, very, very interesting, but most likely a very difficult game against Liverpool. It is essential that Watford win this game against Southampton, because the next game is Liverpool in 2 weeks' time. And that means, of course, that maybe 3 weeks' time, actually, because, of course, there's no game next week. But it's a very important game for Watford against Southampton, because then it sets them up for a very difficult match against Liverpool at Anfield on April the 2nd. So this is the mantra: win, win, win. Watford must do so against Southampton on Sunday at St. Mary's. This has been the Orns Saturday Focus.